Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online series 12 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're trying out a really fun team featuring Physical, Life Orb, KINGDRA, as well as other fun techs like Endure, Focus Sash, Shedinja, and Choice Scarf Kyogre. This team was built and piloted by a Japanese player who recently finished very high up in the March International Challenge, so congratulations to them. I've linked their Twitter down in the description below, as well as a rental and a pace for the team if you want to try it out yourselves. As always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps linked in the description below. So, Physical KINGDRA. What is the value of Physical KINGDRA? Well, first of all, its physical and special stat are essentially the same, right? And so I feel like most people are just used to using special KINGDRA, but Physical KINGDRA is really nice for a couple of reasons. One, the most common intimidators in the format are Incineroar and Landorus-T. Guess what doesn't like going up against rain? Incineroar and Landorus-T. In fact, so much to the point where players will often not bring either Pokemon because of how bad the matchup is against rain, right? And so if KINGDRA isn't getting intimidated and your opponents don't expect you to be physical, then you just do so much more damage, right? And especially if you're not getting intimidated. It combos really nicely with Kyogre as well. This KINGDRA does have Icy Wind, which allows you to, get an immediate burst of speed control against something like Regieleki, and then Scarf Kyogre can just outspeed it. And so this is just a super fun set, and I think it's really nice to, one, catch your opponent off guard, and two, against Grimmsnarl specifically. When they see KINGDRA Kyogre, they'll often try to light screen, but, KINGDRA being physical just doesn't care about a light screen on the first turn, which is super, super nice. Choice Scarf Kyogre here is pretty standard. Zacian here is pretty standard. Shedinja is another really big Pokemon to talk about. Now, one of the reasons you'd want to use Shedinja is because it's a really tough Pokemon to play against, especially in the late game, because Shedinja is a Pokemon that literally can just, 1v4 a team if you don't have any super effective attacks into it. Similarly, what are Pokemon that are common in the format with super effective attacks against Shedinja? Incineroar, Landorus, those really don't like coming out into a matchup with KINGDRA and Kyogre. And so that makes, it all the more difficult as well. So Shedinja is just a really, really nice tech. Ally Switch is like a nightmare to play around, and when I play against Shedinja, it's always so hard to read into it. And so just, induces a lot more kind of mind games against your opponent. Poltergeist and Shadow Sneak for your main means of damage. Sneak is really good into Calyrex Shadow Rider. And then Endure is nice to allow Shedinja to actually hang around for a little bit longer, even after that Focus Sash is broken. You've got Classic Zacian here. White Herb, Swords Dance, Landorus-T is another Dynamax option. Can be very helpful, especially against Pokemon like Groudon and Zacian. And then Psychic Seed, Indeedee with Energy Ball. Now, Energy Ball here is a specific tech, but you'll notice that Gastrodon is a pretty tough Pokemon to go up against, especially for Kyogre teams. And so Indeedee here offers you a pretty nice solution into Gastrodon specifically. Now, it's not like you have no damage in a Gastrodon, right? You can max Wormwind, you can max Airstream it, Poltergeist, play rough, but Energy Ball from Indeedee is one of those things that very few people can anticipate, and it can solve a really, really big nightmare Pokemon that otherwise would give you a lot of trouble. So I'm excited to try out Life Orb Physical KINGDRA, so thanks so much as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoy. And question of the day, with us using KINGDRA, I want to know, what Pokemon do you think deserves a weather-based ability? Let me know in the comment section below. I like KINGDRA. I like Kyogre. I like Shedinja. I like Zacian. I think it's the same four. Landorus and Indeedee are both okay here. Indeedee is mainly valuable because of terrain control and the fact that they're two of their biggest attackers. I mean, actually, their whole team is just rather offensive. Like, Zacian, Kyogre, Lando, and Zapdos are all really good offensive tools for them. So, let's see. The goal is... What I think is really good here is that KINGDRA's physical, and it's hard to anticipate that. So, Grimm might try to set up a light screen, and then Geyser can just ignore, a special defense boost because it's physical. And so if you can bait them to set up light screen, KO the Grimmsnarl, then that paves the way for my physical attackers, which are KINGDRA, Shedinja, and Zacian for the late game. So let's see. I'm mainly curious also what the item on Kyogre is here. Are you Choice Scarf? Are you Sea Incense, for example? I don't know. But I'm hoping here what we can do is, yeah, it'd be great if they bring Grimm, they try to set up a light screen, and then we just, KO through Reflect, or KO through using Physical KINGDRA. Grimm Zapdos. The other thing to watch out for in this angle is just Thunder Wave from Grimmsnarl, which I'm a little bit worried about, and that's where having Indeedee as a switch-in would have been kind of nice. I do have to question whether or not I want to cover for T-Wave. They're going to have Zacian and Kyogre in the back. Zapdos here very likely could Dynamax. Go for a Max Lightning here. I really want to Dynamax and just Geyser into Zapdos and Water Spout here. And hope that they go for a Light Screen into Max Lightning. Because if we can eliminate their Dynamax Pokemon immediately, that's obviously just such a good start to the battle. And normally against this lead, unless you've seen this team, you would anticipate both attackers to be special. But Thunder Wave's a little bit risky, right? Because you can miss. And if you miss, it's just an absolute disaster. Whereas Light Screen is like guaranteed protection for the turn. Unless, of course, you're facing physical KINGDRA, which we have. Initially, my goal was to KO Grimmsnarl, but I think I'd prioritize Zapdos here because it's their main max option. And with this lead, you're almost always going for turn 1 max or Protect. Protect would be a little bit bad because then Grimm could get a free like Light Screen, T-Wave, Spirit Break off. Fake Tears is also a possibility here. Like I said, I'm anticipating Light Screen, but we'll see. Like Light Screen or Thunder Wave, I think, are the most probable plays for them to make right now. Okay. I laugh, but I don't know if Physical Geyser, like, whether or not this actually does enough, plus the Water Spout afterwards. It's very close. Okay. This is why you use Physical KINGDRA! This is why. Oh my goodness. That is so satisfying. That is so satisfying. And I don't blame my opponent, right? If I were in their shoes, I would have probably made the same play, because who anticipates Physical KINGDRA? But it's so nice, especially against, you know, the screen stuff that you often see. They already are going to have a really tough time against the Shedinja. Shedinja might just actually close out this game for me at this point already, which is wild to think about. I'm just going to Geyser Zacian and Spout here. You can only Thunder Wave one of my two Pokemon, and I outspeed both. Protect? Yep. I don't really see how they beat Shedinja if their last one is Kyogre, to be honest. Okay, they Scary Face KINGDRA, that's fine. Spout's still going to KO the Grimm, get some damage onto Zacian, and then I can just switch out the KINGDRA at this point. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. There's Geyser. And I don't know where their damage into Shedinja is coming from at this point. That Geyser, by the way, really nice damage into the Protect. Okay, so they bring out their Kyogre. I could just stay in with KINGDRA, but I don't see why not switch into Shedinja right now, because... Oh, they didn't even bring Kyogre in the back. Which makes sense, because I've got KINGDRA, right? So Kyogre is generally a pretty rough matchup. But... now you just get outsped. Well, yeah, there's really nothing they can do, I think. Oh, although this actually means they have a Shedinja answer in Landorus, which is cool. How many turns of rain are left? 3. I don't mind switching out because like Waterfall's just so nice to clean things up right now, so we can go into Shedinja and just launch Water Spout. I guess the only thing I'm nervous about now is Landorus, like Rock Slide flinches. Yeah. Although, I have to say, them bringing Landorus actually keeps them in this game, because if it was, okay, they just Protect, that's fine. Perfect. And they never set up a Reflect, right? Meaning KINGDRA is just in a really, really good spot for late game sweep. Not to mention, we haven't even brought out our restricted in Zacian yet. Okay, and they play Rough Kyogre, good play. But that KO actually benefits me, because now it's a free switch into KINGDRA, so I can just Waterfall. Beautiful. And we didn't even need Zacian in this one. What made it easier is they didn't bring that Rillaboom either, because Rillaboom is how I got how I lost in that second game, right? So now we can just go for Poltergeist and Waterfall. I guess theoretically it could be Sash Landorus, but even if you're sashed, you're just a Shadow Sneak away from getting KO'd. So you could go for the double right now on Landorus, but then their win con is double Protect into Poltergeist miss. 10% of the miss. 33% for the double. They do get the double. Okay. You know, I think it was probably smarter to just target Zacian there. Because Landorus is not one-shotting my KINGDRA anyway, right? Okay, we don't miss though. Good. Okay, now I just bring out my Zacian. And we know you're not Choice Scarfed. I don't have to worry about... EQ shouldn't KO me. Props to my opponent though, right? Because like they found their win condition, which was going for the double. Even if you're so far behind, like you always just have to go for whatever else you do have available to you. Okay, so... I don't mind going for... actually, Sneak is just fine here, I think, into Blade. I'd rather just get guaranteed damage here, because like Landorus is going to faint, right? Eventually, and with Focus Sash, I can get up to 3 Shadow Sneaks off. And, that's actually really good damage. Nice. So it's probably Lum or White Herb on Landorus, if I had to guess. Beautiful. Okay. I mean, this was never a game we should lose after turn 1. It's absolutely unacceptable if I lose. And so that's the advantage of, you know, having so much momentum that you just swing it forward immediately right from the beginning of the game. So, like I said, not much my opponent could have done against that turn 1 play. They could have gone Scary Face Lightning onto Kyogre, actually, but that play is always like a little bit risky because like what if I switch that into Shedinja, right? So their play normally covers for everything other than physical KINGDRA, which is exactly the benefit of using physical KINGDRA. So yeah. Reshiram, Salamence, Zacian. That's awesome. That is so cool. Maybe not so good for Shedinja here then, but I'm still thinking about it. White Herb Lando is interesting. Salamence could do like Bulldoze stuff, Scarf Bulldoze. They don't have great weather control, so like Kyogre KINGDRA is fairly safe as a lead. This is where physical KINGDRA is also really interesting, because a lot of Reshirams are often Assault Vested. So KINGDRA Ogre. Do I want to bring Shedinja in this one? Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, Ally Switch, Endure. If I weren't bringing it, what would I bring instead? I don't love Landorus here. I think I am going to continue to bring Shedinja because it's a pretty definitive answer into my opponent's Zacian here. So, yeah. That was as nice of a first game as we could have asked for, though. And basically, the thing there is that Water Spell isn't going to knock out Zacian if it's not single target, right? But the thing is that my opponent's Zacian at best can maybe get a play rough onto me. But Water Spell just does so much damage that you're in KO range from anything else. And so, yeah. Ditto's a really cool supportive Pokemon. I wouldn't even call it supportive, I guess, because it can turn into something offensive. It's just a really cool Pokemon in the format, right? But you have to be really careful when using it, and I think it's actually one of the hardest Pokemon to use because, like, awareness as to when to bring it and also how to bring it. Like, the combination of that is really difficult, right? Because, like, you're giving up a Pokemon that has, like, guaranteed value, whereas with Ditto, like, you have to position it properly. But really excited to see my opponent's team here. And Salamence could be a problem because of the Intimidate, given that we're physical KINGDRA. It's going to be Rilla and Urshifu. Okay. Yeah, this is the other thing. Physical Life Orb Max Airstream turn 1 is very nice here. I don't really care about your Urshifu here, right? And if this is the first two, I think Kyogre out into Shedinja, Dynamax KINGDRA, Airstream, and a Rillaboom that gets rid of the biggest Kyogre problem is a mighty fine play. So that's what I'm going to go for. We're going to max Airstream and Kyogre out into Shedinja. Shedinja is very nice here because it does not have to care about Urshifu in the slightest. And so Urshifu is going to be in a pretty bad spot going into turn 2 unless they switch out. Rillaboom here, of course, could protect. Could switch out itself. But if you switch out, the remaining Pokemon you have in the back are likely Reshiram and Zacian, both which are quite weak into Max Geyser. So if they didn't really didn't bring Grimm and Salamence, I think this is a very clean game for KINGDRA, at least in the early match. Shedinja is also valuable not only, you know, for a late game win con, but it's really nice as a switch in because, you know, the super effective hits onto Kyogre, electric type attacks, grass type attacks, Shedinja just doesn't care about and can switch in easily with no problem. Okay. Ooh. They're maxing Rillaboom? Okay. Close combat G-Max Drum Solo onto KINGDRA would be a fantastic play by them on turn 1. You know, I'm not that worried about this play because it also means that you no longer can go for Grassy Glide with Rillaboom, meaning that the Kyogre is actually not as threatened. But this is a really cool play. Wow, 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 wow. Nicely done. Helping Hand as well. That actually might just get the knockout onto my KINGDRA. Okay. But the thing is, Shedinja already wins against Urshifu and the Zacian at this point, so it's the Reshiram I really need to take care of. Nicely done. Yeah, they don't target the Kyogre slot. Drum solo and a KINGDRA. Great play. And that will get the one-hit KO. See, like, normally I wouldn't be afraid of that, but Helping Hand on Urshifu is just a surprising tech move. Like, you don't see that frequently, right? So I can't be too upset about losing to something like that. It's really hard to predict in a best of one. Yeah, I think it's fine to go into Zacian now. The key thing to know with Zacian is obviously, like, Rillaboom could max guard. It also could have max darkness, which is one thing to worry about. Or max quake. Honestly, here, I don't really mind doubling up onto the Urshifu slot. Shadow Sneak to break Sash, and then just KO it with Play Rough. Because I could see Rillaboom max guarding and Urshifu going for Surging Strikes onto Zacian. I also could have gone for Ally Switch here, actually. Like, Ally Switch into Behemoth Blade on Rillaboom would have been fine as well. But ideally, Rillaboom max guards, we KO Urshifu, and that completely blows the game open for us, I think. Kyogre in the back is going to be very good against their restricteds. Ideally, we time it so that I get another set of, another 5 turns of rain. I don't want to bring it out, like, right on the last turn of rain, but here, my opponent theoretically could go, like, Helping Hand Quake into my Zacian. Okay, they don't protect or switch either. Which is fine by me. Oh. That was an awful miss. That probably loses me the game, actually. It's my fault for risking it, though. But I think if we hit that, we would have been in really good shape. Because, like, Rillaboom wouldn't have picked up a knockout onto either. And then I paved the way for Kyogre. Man, that stings. Okay. That's just part of the game, though. And, of course, I could have Behemoth Bladed the Rillaboom slot there. But, you know, I wanted to cover for it max guarding and felt fairly confident Urshifu wasn't protecting there. With the special defense boost now, I don't really see a path to victory. Fast-paced games today so far, though. Live and die by Play Rough. That was a really nice turn 1 play by my opponent, though, so props to them. I do think if we hit that Play Rough, we're actually in pretty good shape, because then I can focus my efforts on Rillaboom the next turn, right? And then Kyogre plus Shedinja is very, very nice in the end game here, but yeah, can't really do too much after that. Well, actually, with Ally Switch... No, it would like, because we're choice scarfed here, like, I just lost way too many resources early on. So, yeah. It's a shame, because even after their nice turn 1 play, I actually thought, like, we were in a pretty good spot. Ally Switch into Behemoth Blade or Play Rough there would have worked out pretty nicely, but I wanted to just go for the knockout there. And 90% of the time, it works out. Unfortunately, we fell prey to the 10%. I once again continue to like physical KINGDRA. Man, Shedinja is actually interesting because of Shadow Sneak. KINGDRA, Shedinja, Indeedee. Do we have a Zacian lead? You know what? I'm down for Shedinja just to bait my opponent in the beginning of the game and then just switch it out immediately. What are the super effective attacks I have to worry about from Shedinja here? There's a lot, actually. Astro Barrage from Calyrex, Max Airstream from Zapdos, Max Airstream, Max Rockfall from Celesteela. They're running offensive Celesteela. Like, everything on my opponent's team has a way to theoretically hit Shedinja for super effective damage. So I think Psychic Seed Indeedee may have been a little bit more consistent here, but yeah. I'm sad because Shedinja wasn't in a position to really succeed in that last match as well, especially if I had gone for an ally switch. I'm mainly curious how much Max Quick would have done to Zacian. Ooh, my my controller is out of power. So we're gonna switch to my Joy-Cons, which actually have a little bit of drift. I have not been able to find the power cord actually to my charger. Hence why I'm not just plugging it in immediately. Okay, Groudon plus Celesteela. My turn 1 play of switching to Kyogre and just going for a water type attack on a Groudon is almost too obvious. It is so obvious. And there's our drift. Okay. opposed to it, though, still. It's just so obvious I'd rather target Celesteela for damage. Okay, I'm down for that. Because then next turn, like, if Celesteela's maxing... Okay, yeah, they switch out. Into Zapdos. Yep, cool. So the key thing to note here is that my opponent doesn't actually have water resistances or immunities, right? So while they can set up the sun, if you bring in Groudon, yeah, maybe you survive a water type attack, but then I can just Geyser to change the weather anyway. Yeah. Celesteela Protect here actually wouldn't be too bad, because then next turn I can just Geyser into Water Spout. I guess the only downside is that if you bring Groudon back out, Groudon would change the weather, so then KINGDRA would go after Kyogre, but that's okay. Okay, they're maxing Steela. Fine by me. Airstream here would make some sense. I've got Zacian in the back. Zacian's pretty bad into Celesteela, Zapdos, and Groudon, to be honest, so... I like this team for my opponent. It's kind of like an anti-meta team. Okay. We're going to get Geyser off. Let's see how much this does into Steela. Steela's pretty defensive. Well, that's not bad, actually. Just under half. I'll take it. And they actually go for Rockfall. Okay. Into KINGDRA. Rockfall's smart, right? Because, like, you don't have to target Shedinja and the sand would take care of it. That's also part of the reason why I thought it'd be worthwhile to switch out. That's fine by me, though. I think that's honestly not a bad turn, all things considered. And you are not Goggles, Zapdos. You're actually slower as well. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Was not expecting that, but that's a really big deal. Okay, I'm down to actually just Geyser and Water Spout here into the Celesteela slot. Get rid of the restricted, change the weather. Paves the path for Shedinja. If you max guard, so be it. We got a Water Spout into Zapdos. Oh, max guard would actually be a pretty good play for them, I think. Maybe it was better to just double up on Zapdos, but I was like, if I'm locking myself in a Water Spout, I could have clicked Origin Pulse instead. Like, Geyser into Zapdos and Origin Pulse may have been better, but they don't max guard. Okay, cool. Ooh, I probably don't KO Celesteela from this range, though. That's actually really bad. I thought I'd do a little bit more. Ah, so close. Okay. So, targeting Zapdos there would have been worthwhile then. That's okay, though. They T-Bolt into KINGDRA, which we survive. Their Life Orb as well. And Max Quake, which will give them a special defense boost. Does that KO me? Okay, it does. Normally I'd be nervous about the special defense boost, but now that I've set the rain up again, I think Water Spout from Kyogre is totally fine. And I totally realized it's AV Celesteela, hence why I took the Water Spout so well. That makes sense. And the lack of a Protect. Okay, well with that, that's fine. Yeah, we can just bring out Zacian then. And just Blade the Celesteela and Water Spout. We're looking pretty good right now. Obviously, there's the Groudon in the back. That's a little bit scary, but I feel decent about my positioning. If I had targeted Zapdos, though, last turn, I think I would have been in really good shape. Like a double up on a Zapdos. But I didn't think super hard about the item on Celesteela. I didn't think about the possibility it could actually survive based off after how much Max Geyser did. So this is the advantage of the Assault Vest Celesteela. At least I'm pretty sure it's Assault Vest. I guess we haven't actually confirmed it yet, but I can't see what other item it would potentially be. Groudon in the back. What's the last one? Venu as the last one is probably the scariest. Although, if you don't have Weather Ball, Shedinja wins the 1v1. Zapdos detects, that's fine. I think Detect actually hurts them here, unless they have Venu as the final one, and then you bring in Venu and then switch Zapdos out into Groudon. Which could be what they're going for here. Also, conserving a Zapdos here means that you don't at least immediately lose the Weather War, because if they lose both Pokemon, you have to bring the Groudon out, you can't switch it back out and back in. So, yeah, actually, that makes total sense. If you have Venu, things get really interesting. Because it's a question of... they bring Groudon outright. Okay. I know you're not assault vested on Groudon either. So Groudon could protect here as Zapdos switches out. Since Zapdos had just attacked, I guess my only question is, does Water Spell in the sun actually KO this at +1? I would think so, but I guess I can't say that with 100% confidence. I'm going to Behemoth Blade the Zapdos slot and Water Spout it. Because if Zapdos switches out... Yeah, perfect. Groudon protects, okay? This just covers for Zapdos switching out and it staying in. So now I can win the Weather War by simply swapping Kyogre out and then back in. See, you could see the value of physical KINGDRA in this game though, right? Because given that they were Assault Vest, if I were special, I would have just been doing no damage to the KINGDRA at all. Also, Shedinja was really valuable here just to bait the max Rockfall in turn 1. What is that? Oh, it's Calyrex. I totally forgot they even had another restricted in the back. Okay. Well, with Calyrex now, what we can do is simply protect. This is where Shedinja with Shadow Sneak is so dang good too. Bring in Shedinja, and then I can Shadow Sneak, and then I just win the game off a single Water Spell from Kyogre. I totally forgot that we hadn't even seen the other restricted Mon yet, but Shedinja having Sneak here specifically is very excellent for Calyrex. Now, they could maybe KO Shedinja through an Astral Barrage and a Fire Punch into the Kyogre slot. I guess I could have just stayed in as well, but I like the idea of just maintaining weather control and getting Scarf Ogre back in. Are they Trick Rooming? Oh, okay. That's an excellent play. Maybe I should have tried to counter that, actually. The thing is, though, now Zacian's going to outspeed your Calyrex under Trick Room. So I can just Behemoth Blade and Shadow Sneak the Calyrex. And they don't protect. Okay, nice. Unless Calyrex is really slow here and underspeeds the Zacian. Okay, they go for Rock Slide. That's fine. Flinch here would not be fine, though, because then they just Astral Barrage. So this is actually kind of scary. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I figured, like, in this position, Zacian can survive a Behemoth Blade as well, so while the Trick Room play is really smart, there's not really too much you can do. Okay, now we just stall out Trick Room. I mean, Kyogre or Origin Pulse in itself will just win the game. But here I can go for Protect and Endure, actually, to survive another turn. Okay. I don't think Precipice Blades even KO Zacian, right? So then the next turn I can just go Shadow Sneak into... Actually, I don't need a Sneak. I could Poltergeist instead. Yeah, they offer Precipice Blades. That's fine. Because Kyogre's the main win condition at this point. 2 turns of Trick Room left. Should survive a Precipice Blades here. Oh, I guess I can't say that with 100% confidence, but they're not choice banded, so we can just Behemoth Blade here and go for Poltergeist, which would also allow me to confirm the Groudon's item. Okay. Lumberry. Okay, cool. Let's see how much this does. Boop. And they opt for Rock Slide. Beautiful. Shedinja actually dodges it, unfortunately for them, but they needed a flinch here. If they didn't get the flinch, we'd win anyway. Yeah, nice. I get the Rock Slide play, though. It's like Rock Slide, you flinch, I bring in Kyogre, and then just Precipice Blades, hope for like a double crit, maybe. Groudon survives, but now it's a Shadow Sneak away from getting knocked out, so... Glad to finally have a game where Shedinja can do a little bit more, because I thought it was going to be really valuable in Game 2, but I just got caught off guard by a very nice turn 1 play by my opponent. But now with Sneak, we're good. Yeah, this was a great demo game for both physical Life Orb KINGDRA as well as the Shedinja. So really happy to show off what both of those Pokemon can do. That's going to be it for today's episode, so thanks so much as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoy. Don't forget to answer the question of the day. Try out the team. Details are in the description below, and I'll see you all soon. Alright, peace.